seen the Israeli flag there, the welcome from one head of state, that being the Governor-General, to the Israeli head of state in Isaac Herzog. They're going to sign the visitors' book. They'll inspect the guard there, the military guard of honour, and then they will have some conversations, a meeting there at Government House between the Governor-General, the President, and our Prime Minister. Is this a moment where you hope Australia and Israel can also start to heal the bilateral relationship, which has been damaged, really, over the last year or two?
Well, we've had a long-standing diplomatic relationship with Israel. That goes back to the period where we both voted for the creation of the modern state of Israel and established diplomatic connections following World War II. It's important that we can have dialogue, we can express where there's different views around very important foreign policy matters, but also talk about the things that we do seek to do together into the future. Now, also, I wouldn't mind sharing with your viewers, one of the people I understand who'll be at Government House a little bit later today is the Senior Australian of the Year, Henry Brodati. Now, he is an amazing dementia care and brain expert, a professor who's done so much to help with how we deal with that horrible disease. He's also the son of 2 Holocaust survivors, and I'm really pleased to see that he'll be there, not just sharing his outstanding world-leading research, but also his family story.
That's a reminder, isn't it, of the wonderful contribution that Jewish Australians have made to this nation
from Federation.
From Federation and before. This is a wonderful community in this nation.
Well, it goes all the way back to our first parliament, had Isaac Isaacs sitting in the parliament, who went on to serve in the High Court, made an incredible contribution to Australia. And if we think about those contributions that we see to this very day, and I see it in my community in Perth, we should celebrate those contributions of a country that has welcomed so many from so many different parts of the world, all who come here, not just for a better life for themselves, but a better life for their families, and recognising they can make a contribution to the community as well.
The thing that frustrates many in the Jewish community, and I think many Australians across the board, the mainstream, for want of a better phrase, is that Jewish Australians, for some reason, are held to account or blamed by some individuals and some groups, quoting Zionists and so on, for the actions of a foreign government. When do you see Australians of Iranian descent or other nationalities blamed for their regime in foreign nations? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't, and it shouldn't happen. And Jewish Australians should not be targeted for the actions of a democratically elected government in another nation. Simple as that. It does sadden me when you see some of that, and obviously we've seen too many inappropriate and at times anti-Semitic attacks on Jewish Australians. We have to keep calling that out when it does happen. And also I think we've got to recognise that when it comes to the government of Israel, that is a democratically elected government. There are obviously a range of things happening in the democratic processes in Israel. I wouldn't want to see an Australian abroad attacked because of the decisions of the democratically elected government here in Australia. I want to see them afforded all of the rights that they should have as a citizen of the world. And we've got to lift the standard of how we treat one another as Australians, because we're all Australians.
Indeed. No, I totally agree, and in fact could not agree more that it's a time of civility, but also a time of respect, and respect for a community that is mourning. And I just see a lack of both of those things in actions of recent days, sadly. I want to ask you about the poll today, the Sky News Pulse, conducted by YouGov. One Nation's primary vote is 28, just 2 points behind Labor now. That is extraordinary, isn't it? And in fact, One Nation ahead of Labor among working class voters. What do you make of that?
What I make of it is I think it's going to bring greater scrutiny to the role that One Nation is playing in Australian political life. What we've got at the moment across the right-wing spectrum of political debate is you've got this sort of coalition of chaos.
Can you bear with me 1 second? I just want to have a listen in, Assistant Minister. Let's have a listen in to the audio here from Government House. Prime Minister Albanese there, along with Governor-General Mostyn, welcoming President Herzog, a ceremonial welcome at Government House as he now accompanies that officer to inspect the military guard